Sweated to the truth, nothing but the truth. Put my hands on the Bible, y'all point me to the booth. Sweated to the truth.
Hey yo, real quick, you want the opportunity to rock some new merch? Go to the description box and hit that link, imagodayapparel.shop, and place your orders now. This helps me to deliver more content and give you the quality that you need. Again, that's imagodayapparel.shop, and we thank you for your support. Peace and love.
And all of your proceeds, donations, giving, purchases go to helping me bring you better content. You are greatly appreciated. But what's going on, man? We got a devastating one for you today, man. A woman by the name of Mahogany Jackson was brutally tortured, beaten, and raped, and killed by, as you can see up here, 8 black people who she perceived as friends. Mahogany was 20 years old and leaves behind a 3-year-old daughter. The motives are unknown at this point, but nonetheless, nobody deserves to be done the way that this young woman was. But I'm getting ready to play this video, and I have to warn you, the details are very hard to hear.
The details that you heard today in court are disturbing and heartbreaking. Yeah, Morgan, that is right. This case is beyond disturbing, and it was an emotional day in court. Now, one of the saddest details I learned today is that Mahogany Jackson came to the first location thinking these people were her friends. Investigators say they then tortured her, and the things that were described are why Judge Keisha Davis says she denied all of these suspects a bond. Now, Birmingham Police Homicide Detective Mark Green says the first stop was the home of suspect Brandon Pope. Now, that's where Jackson was beaten outside while she was naked. Officers say some of the suspects beat her while others recorded the beatings. Now, Jackson was stomped and kicked, and then prosecutors say one of the suspects can be heard saying, "Put her in the trunk." And then she was dragged naked in the street. Now, Jackson was taken to a second location, and I want to warn you, this will be hard to hear.
The sad part about that is the part that you heard was hard to hear. That's the sad part. The part that we just heard was hard to hear. You have to have a black hole in your heart to do the things that these people done to this young woman.
Prosecutors say Jackson was sexually assaulted at gunpoint. Officials say she was handcuffed, beaten, pistol whipped, and then spat on. Now, Jackson's family, including her mother, were present in court today, and as they read out the evidence, you could hear them getting very emotional. DA Danny Carr says, though, this will be a long road to get justice for Mahogany, and he also explains why only 5 out of the 8 suspects were present today for the Anayas Law hearing.
The individuals that are charged with capital murder, obviously, the law, the statute and the rules of criminal procedure says that their bond can be set at a no bond automatically. The individuals that are charged with felony murder, the statute requires a hearing. The next step, obviously, is there'll be further investigation with Birmingham Police Department.
Yeah, another sad thing we learned today was that the suspects wanted the password to Mahogany Jackson's phone. Officials say they even told her if she gave it to them, they would let her go, only to kill her anyway.
Those are the people. Those are the people. Now, I'm going to read another article to give a little more context. 5 of the 8 defendants charged in the murder of an Alabama mother were denied bond on Monday for allegedly participating in the protracted torture of the victim before her death. Although Giovanni Clapp, Blair Green, Tasia Lewis, Sanaya McCall, and Ariana Lachey Robinson did not personally kill the victim, Mahogany Jackson, Judge Keisha Davis maintained that they each played a role in her death, according to Birmingham Fox affiliate WBRC. Jackson was found dead, shot in the head at an illegal dump site in the 1700 block of Laurel Avenue the morning after messaging her family that she was being held hostage and asking them to call the police. Officers soon made 8 arrests. The aforementioned 5 defendants are charged with felony murder, first-degree kidnapping, and first-degree sodomy, according to AL.com. Francis Ace Harris, who was the suspected gunman, Jeremiah Kodak McDowell, and Brandon Pope were charged with capital murder during a first-degree kidnapping and capital murder during first-degree sodomy. They are being held without bond. Birmingham homicide detective Mark Green testified about a witness reaching out to police as investigators were at the location where Jackson's body was found. This witness said that Harris told him about shooting the victim and identifying everyone involved in the kidnapping. According to testimony, Jackson, who has a 3-year-old daughter, arrived at Pope's home on McMillan Avenue. She believed she was going to hang out with friends. Instead, what reportedly started was an ordeal, and she was stripped naked, handcuffed, beaten, spat on, and sexually assaulted at gunpoint. She was shot after messaging her relatives. Officers said, "I've been kidnapped," she wrote. According to WBRC, "Send help, don't call." Jackson messaged her family. I'm gonna stop right there. So I was looking at this online and I saw a lot of articles that read 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. And I was wondering, why isn't every news channel in America talking about this? Why isn't this being made a public spectacle of? If the news channels don't get on this, stop listening to them. They are an op. They are fake news. They are pushing an agenda, and they are to not be trusted. And so once again, I ask the question, where are the black leaders? Where is BLM? When it's black on black, nobody has nothing to say. But again, and I always say this, could you imagine if this was 8 white people? If this was even 1 white person that done this to this woman, let alone 8, could you imagine the uproar and how mad people would be because of what they would quickly call racism? But because this is just black on black crime and blacks live in close proximity to one another, it's something that's bound to happen. See, we don't protest. We don't speak out for things like this. And the Tyree Nichols situation happened with the 5 black police officers. We didn't have nothing to say about that. We didn't have no smoke for that at all. Nobody had nothing to say. People were ready to riot. And I'm not advocating for that, but just hear me out. People were ready to riot, loot, protest, and everything else had they found out that it was 5 white officers to have done what happened to Tyree Nichols. But once people found out that it was 5 black officers, pitchforks and everything else get laid down. The fires get put out there. That same energy, minus the rioting and looting, that same energy that we have for George Floyd should be that same exact energy that we have for cases and instances like this, bro. Because it has nothing to do with white supremacy, but it has everything to do with good versus evil, love versus hate. It has everything to do with principles, morals, ethics, standards, the content of your character. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin, because you see plain as day, 8 black people did this to a black woman. So you cannot sit up here and tell me that I need to be in fear of so-called white supremacy when I see black people doing other black people like this on a day-to-day basis. Make that make sense. Should no person have to deal with what this woman went through? I don't care what she did. Should no person have to go through what that woman experienced? But people, let's just not act like this is just another thing. Let's not let her name be just another name. We have to start calling out our own. We need to start telling other black people, hey, it's time to put away the guns. It's time to stop selling poison to our people. It's time to stop degrading our women. It's time to stop disrespecting our men. It's time to stop creating fatherless homes. It's time to start building the black family back up. These are not white supremacist talking points. These are things that we see daily in the black community. And it's not by causal of white supremacy, but it's about causal of what happened to us in the 60s and the 70s. Them encouraging fathers to not be in the home and the woman gets paid by the government. Them deindustrializing the black communities, deindustrializing the schools to where black men could literally graduate with a certified skill, come out of high school making money, the skills that pay the bills. And best believe this was a concerted effort. Them flooding our neighborhoods with crack cocaine to fund the war in Nicaragua, discouraging the black men and leaving them between a rock and a hard place. Either I smoke this or I sell it. We talking about a concerted effort by the CIA, the upper, the elites. This has nothing to do with blacks and whites. The government versus the United States of America. This regime that's in office now and the powers that be against America. We the people, your normal, average, everyday working citizens. Them funding things like rap music to start making us bitter towards one another, to start making us hate each other. I'm not worried about no white supremacy when I can see that it's my own kind that do me worse than white people. So no, we don't need to depend on the government. We don't need to depend on white people to get us out of the situation that we're in. We need to depend on our own to get us out of the situation that we're in. We got to start holding us accountable because we won't listen to anybody else if they say it, and I'll give us that. But we need to start listening to ourselves. But let's act like, because it did, let's act like Mahogany Jackson's life and protest black on black crime and come against anything that advocates or supports black on black crime. Anything, any person, any people, any group, anybody that advocates for black on black crime, disrespecting our women, disrespecting our men, feeding poison to our people, killing our own kind, anything that advocates for that, let's start protesting that. But Mahogany Jackson life definitely matters. That's when I believe people, when they say Black Lives Matters, when they start protesting their own kind. Because we got to know all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. The people that's kinfolk are those that are like-minded, values, principles, morals, standards, ethics. Those are the ones that you know got your back. I'm not fooling with you just because we got the same skin color, because you could do me dirty just in the same way that these people did. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Justice for Mahogany Jackson. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace, love. I'm out.
Swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Put my hands on the Bible, y'all point me to the booth. Swear to tell